Welcome to issue 274 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we'll take a good look at the most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood fellas, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Josh. And with me tonight is Steve.
Hi, Skeeter. How's it going?
You want me to redo that?
No, it's perfect.
That was great. That was phenomenal.
And also here is the beautiful, the wonderful, the enchanting Daniel.
Hey there. How you doing there, Josh?
Oh, I'm great. I'm doing just wonderful.
No,
I'm doing so good, I bring a tear to a glass eye, Daniel.
That's good gravy, you know.
Oh, boy.
This what we're doing.
Hey.
Is this what this has devolved to already?
No, we're out accenting each other tonight, folks.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I'm going to stay neutral in this.
I will counter Josh's hill folk with true hot dish eating Minnesotan.
Hot
God
dish
darn it.
eating Minnesotan. That was on Skinamax After Dark. I watched that
I
one.
can smell the cheese curds.
Well, let me ask you this, Josh. And
That's this chair I'm
Steve.
in.
So, hot dish is a Minnesota term. What does it mean? I'm really curious how you guys answer this.
Hot dish means like good gossip.
No, that is absolutely incorrect.
Well,
Language.
Hey, language. Serious.
Wow, that turned real in a heartbeat.
I don't know what it means, Daniel.
Hot dish is the Minnesota term for casserole.
Okay.
okay. It's literal.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I thought I was being
Minnesotans are only literal, Josh.
You're the
Not to be
Drax.
confused with literate.
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Ouch.
my people?
I'm just
say
kidding,
we're making
folks.
a hillbilly. We're making a hillbilly joke.
This is a weird start. We've had Captain America show up for language. We've had hot
We've
dish.
insulted all the people that listen to us.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But
Well, you
we
guys
can
are
get
doing
away with
crap.
it. But we can get away with it today.
How's that, Steve?
We can get away with it because this is our Father's Day issue.
Oh,
And as fathers, we get a pass on Father's Day, right?
absolutely carte blanche. Well done.
We're good. We're safe.
Absolutely, 110%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So happy Father's Day, gentlemen. Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. This is one of those holidays that kind of drifts faintly by my family without anyone noticing.
Oh,
Not
that's
much
too
aplomb.
bad.
It is
Oh.
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice when my wife reminds the children to tell me Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. That's kind of how it is. It happens at around 6 p.m. I don't know about for you, Josh.
So our Father's Day again is like here, like Mother's Day's a big thing, right? Mother's Day's got to be a big thing.
As it should be.
It was nice. You had Aaron on for the Mother's Day episode, and you got me for the Father's Day episode because Aaron's kind of the mom of our podcast. So the mom of the nerds, little swamp goblin mother.
I'm sure that's how he sees it as well.
Yeah. He's probably doing all the hard work.
You
While
know
you're in
what?
the back at the grill.
I'm
Cooking
glad that
brats.
someone thinks that about Aaron, and I'm gonna let that illusion persist.
You're gonna let that marinate, aren't you?
Yeah. But here at the house, like Father's Day. So Mother's Day is the big thing. We focus on my wife, and then Father's Day for me, we have a ritual. I don't want anything. I don't really want it except for one thing, and it was my daughter and my son got me a few years ago this cologne, this Calvin Klein cologne. And
Fancy.
now that is the ritual for Father's Day.
I have no idea where this is going.
They buy you
Well, no,
that
that's what
every
I
year.
look forward to. I use it throughout the year, and then right around
then-
Father's Day, I usually run out of it. And so
That's
I look
amazing.
forward to, like, that's my big, I'm super excited to get another bottle of this cologne. Like, that's the thing that comes up for Father's Day for me.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah. We
that's really
we
sweet.
make Mother's Day a big deal, but Father's Day I usually get breakfast cooked and I don't have to do any chores around the house. This year I have bought myself several Father's Day presents, and the kids got me something via my wife, and they hit it right 3 feet away from where I'm recording right now, so I'm looking at it. So I'm excited for it, but okay.
Wait, are kids allowed in the lair?
Yeah, it's the basement. So
Oh, Steve, you got to tell me that. I got to
Language.
I got to hide. There's kids coming down.
You got stuff you have to hide. Jesus, what is wrong with this guy?
yeah.
Oh, I cursed again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This guy he's on fire tonight, folks.
Language. 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 Language.
Okay, so a lot of you folks just heard a long bleep. We had to cut out the last 7 minutes of the show, but we're gonna move on with where
You blame the hills for that. Hills and Hot
Yes.
Dish. That's
Yeah,
gonna be our new podcast, Josh.
The Hills and Hot
Hills
Dish
and Hot
sounds like a
Dish.
show I'd listen to.
Oh, that's a detective comedy, if anything. Solving crimes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Steve. What are you trying to do here tonight?
I just want to try to get us back on track just a little bit.
Okay,
And,
go ahead.
Good luck.
I want to wish everybody out there happy Father's Day who plays this game.
Oh my God! Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Just like we did for Mother's Day, we're going to talk about some Marvel fathers and how wonderfully terrible these hero dads really are.
I do like that we're being even-handed about that.
Of course.
I was worried that folks were going to think we were, focusing on one way on that. So
No, they know us to be a fair and balanced show here.
we are
So-
the CNN of
Balance.
these podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know that fair and balanced was CNN's tagline.
Maybe not.
Didn't it used to be?
I mean, we are the
Who's
villains.
the one that used to be fair and
It's
balanced?
Fox News.
Oh, that's ironic.
Yeah.
All right.
The villains of news.
The villains of news.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
villains
that's what
of
I'm saying
news
here. Come on.
Are fair and balanced. Okay.
All right, let's talk about some of these heroic fathers. All right, Marvel's worst hero dads: the good, the bad, and the absentee. They fight evil. They save the world. They wear spandex with conviction.
Mm.
But when it comes to fatherhood, these Marvel heroes prove that even the most powerful men in the universe can't handle a diaper change, a therapy session, or a simple heart-to-heart.
Wow.
So we're going to give a nice loving roast to several heroic dads who really should have just stuck to, punching people. So we'll bounce around. I'll do one. Daniel will do one. Josh will do one. And we'll work our way through. Let's start with number 1, Wolverine. All right.
He had kids?
Yeah. Well, okay. So he's Weapon X. He's a father question mark. Okay. Question mark.
Okay.
So
Okay.
good question, Daniel.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Logan has 2 parenting settings. Okay. Overprotective murder dad
All right.
and emotionally unavailable wilderness cryptid.
Fine, but you still haven't answered my question.
I'm getting there. I'm
He
getting
has
there.
kids? Okay. All right.
Information yet to come, Daniel.
Yes. Yeah. You got to give me a moment. I'm building.
All right.
He has fathered and also unintentionally cloned several kids, including Dakin, a son with more daddy issues than knives in his arms, and Laura, X-23, who literally grew up in a lab designed to make her a killer. So Logan, those are his kids. Those are his kids, Daniel, right? Dakin is like a legit child and Laura's a clone. So
Okay. Dakin's a legit kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's like 100 and some years old.
I've never heard that name before tonight, now.
Never heard you watched Logan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who was he?
the bad Wolverine was like that version of that. I mean, kinda, but not really.
But yeah,
took some artistic liberties.
Well, wait.
Also, I do want to mention
the Liev Schreiber character.
No, not Sabretooth, but the bad Wolverine in Logan, the clone of him.
I think they call him he was like 24 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
Jeez, I don't remember. Keep going. It's fine.
Okay.
I was saying I wanted to give a shout out to a boy I went to high school with, D. Wayne, who also unintentionally fathered several children. All right. So happy Father's Day, D. Wayne, wherever you may be, whatever.
And if you listen to the show, let us know.
And
whatever Circle K fluorescent lighting is playing home to your sleeping bag tonight and casting a beautiful glow down on you as you sweat out the day's adventures. Shiver well, good man. Shiver well.
wow.
Okay. I don't know how to keep going, but
Steve, you just say Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Okay, so Logan's main form of affection is basically grunting softly before vanishing into the Canadian woods, probably looking for Mike. for 6 months at a time. Therapy? Nah, but he will stab someone for you, which counts for something in the X family.
I feel like that's a good protection deck right there.
Yeah.
Grunting softly in the Canadian woods with Mike.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, jeez. I can't quit you.
Can't quit you, Mike.
Anyway.
Snicked indeed. Snicked indeed.
Steve, I tell you, Josh shows up in the lair and just
and all hell breaks loose.
The wheels fall off.
I'm
Wheels
so
fall
sorry.
off this podcast.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm so
There's
sorry.
something about that.
Yep.
That just that
I'm
voice.
not the one who mentioned grunting softly in the Canadian woods.
And somebody read the second guy.
No, we got another dad, the headmaster of gaslighting. Steve, you might know him as Professor X.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, guys, that Charles Xavier has taught generations of young mutants and traumatized a fair share of them too. I think we can all agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while he's not a father in the biological sense very often, emotionally, he's everybody's dad, and not in a good way. Sometimes I look at him and I think about that, what was that show with Bob Saget and
Full House?
I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, Full House. That's it. Yeah.
How'd you forget Full House?
I don't know. I lost it because I was thinking of John Stamos. So I was trying to get his name back in my mind.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, well, look, Charles Xavier, I don't think he'd even belong on that show because he tends to lie, manipulate. He erases memories. He fakes his own death like it's Casual Tuesday, and generally treats his students / children like chess pieces in a never-ending mutant war. Now, if your dad had the power to read your thoughts and still ignored your emotional needs, well, congratulations. You know what you are, guys? You're an ex-kid.
Ooh,
okay.
Take that. And that the other guy who wasn't John Stamos or Bob Saget was the one that
Morissette.
Thank you. Alanis Morissette wrote her whole album about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cut it out.
Dave Coulier, another famous Canadian grunting in the forest with Mike.
Thanks, Dave Coulier.
Thick with grunting in the Canadian forest.
Wolverine, Dave Coulier, and Mike.
When I found out that that was the target of her animosity, I was like, I'm kind of disappointed.
Like this guy?
To be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Right? He definitely outkicked his coverage.
Yeah.
Anyway, where is he now? Josh, tell us about another Marvel dad gone wrong.
All right. Let's talk about Hank Pym. Tiny man.
He's great.
Enormous baggage. Hank Pym is brilliant. But as a father, he's more science fair disaster than dad of the year. He didn't know he had a daughter, Nadia Van Dyne, until she showed up one day in a wasp suit, having been raised by Russian spies. What are you doing, step hero? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hank's most famous legacy isn't his parenting. It's the time he invented Ultron, who went on to try to destroy humanity. We know Ultron, big fan of that work.
Yeah,
big fan here in the land of Ultron. But he gets points for trying to reconnect later in life. But, still, if you're the father, if your father built an evil robot and forgot your birthday, it's not really great. Also, famously, an abusive spouse.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And not a great guy. Really not a great guy. Best thing he ever did was create Ultron.
Wow. I thought that was Tony Stark. Didn't we say that
in the
was Tony
movies?
Stark in some
movies.
other
In the
podcasts?
movies.
Yeah, in the movies, but in the comics, it's Hank Pym.
All right, fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never read a comic. Is that a thing?
They're like coloring books that people have already colored.
Right. I was going to say.
Oh, well, what's the point?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Speaking about what's the point, let's talk about Hawkeye. Okay.
Oh,
family man.
Now, wait, hold on, Steve. How are you going to give a fair and balanced discussion of this fella? Because you don't like him.
I don't plan to. I'm going to be biased and prejudiced the whole way.
I'm glad that you've put it all out there. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Hawkeye either. He's my wife's favorite.
Ooh.
And I've found a couple pairs of purple spandex in the laundry when I've been doing them, and I don't wear purple.
I will say this. I like Hawkeye a lot better after hearing the survival story of the actor. So.
Oh, yeah. Got ran
Anyway.
over by his own snowplow. Or
Jeremy
something.
Renner, like the snow.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Holy hell!
I can separate him from Hawkeye.
Good luck. I mean, that's good on you. I can't.
Okay. So let me tell you about Hawkeye, the family man until he wasn't. So Clint Barton, he actually had a lovely secret family in the MCU. MCU for about 5 minutes until they were snapped away. And he decided, what's the best way to cope with this? Full-blown murder ninja. Okay? Full-blown murder
I can get
ninja
behind
is what he does.
Which,
Okay.
by the way, is pretty cool in the movies.
Yeah, okay. I guess. I don't know how shooting bows and arrows translates to being a sword-wielding ninja, but okay. In the comics, he's not much better. Absentee dad, terrible communicator, emotionally stunted circus orphan with a bow. He's kind of a dad who will show up late to your birthday with a half-eaten taco and a vague apology about doing recon in Madripoor. Somehow charming, somehow deeply disappointing. Also, if you want to hear great Hawkeye bad parenting, go out and listen to the Marvel Wastelanders podcast. It's like audio drama, 12 episodes. They've got ones for all different characters, and the Hawkeye one, yeah, terrible father, the whole 12 episodes. Great podcast.
You sound really overly excited about what a terrible father Hawkeye is.
Yeah, he's bad.
Wow. You really hate this guy.
I feel like in the Marvel universe, if you were a child therapist, you make bank.
You make some bank, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
daycare too, right?
Yeah.
Superhero daycare. Yeah.
Super lucrative.
You wouldn't make anything because they always bring their kids into danger.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you had an open daycare place, maybe they drop the kids off.
Yeah, but they wouldn't know about it. They're too busy,
Busy. Yeah.
doing their biz.
Most of the kids got superpowers too, and they end up being heroes like the parents. So who cares? Screw them.
Yeah.
Who cares about some sad kids?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. We're not here. It's not Kids Day. This is Father's Day.
Oh, my heart hurts. My dad's not here. Whatever. Grow up.
One of the greatest dads of all mythology, all time, is Odin. Now, he's the kind of dad. He gives his kid a magic hammer, then immediately he yells at him for using it. You know that? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He adopted a frost giant baby, which you all know, of course, is Loki. Never told him he was adopted, and then acted surprised when the kid had a villainous arc. So meanwhile, Thor gets banished every time he breathes too loudly. Now, Odin's parenting style is somewhere between, I don't know, Shakespearean tyrant and drunk king at Thanksgiving dinner. Now, let's not also forget Hela, his firstborn. He locked her away for being a little too good at her job. Nothing says healthy father-daughter dynamic like eternal imprisonment. Now, Steve, these are your notes. Now,
these are Marvel. This is Marvel Odin.
Yeah,
This is MCU Odin.
This is Marvel MCU Odin. Yes.
Yeah, because Hela is not his daughter in the comics.
Yeah.
No. So do we need to give a couple minutes to save Odin from himself here? Or now here's the thing. Odin as all father, like father of the Norse pantheon, like he messed up all of them all the time. So to focus on these ones, I guess that is an MCU thing, right? So
Yeah.
No,
are there Norse mythology worse parenting decisions Odin's made you can tell us about?
I just think he was the best absentee dad of all time in the myths. He was way too busy caring about his own
language.
And, I don't know, protecting his daughters. His daughter Freya. He was great and awful at the same time. But I understand in the movies and the lore of the MCU, it's about Loki and Thor. But yeah, Loki was adopted, and Hela is Loki's kid in the myths.
So Odin in the myth and the myths you're talking about seems like the kind of absentee dad who shows up like halfway through a birthday party with a new snake tattoo and like a super soaker he's picked up at the Magic Mart on the way down, and all the kids are super excited.
Kids love him, and all the kids love him for it.
He's got like a Corvette and a maybe
Yeah.
teenage girl and who
Yep.
knows, ambiguously aged young woman.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Frigg, his wife, is like, God damn it. I just put out the cake and I did all these games. Oh,
Yeah, planned it
Yeah.
for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dad
'cause you
gets all
were
the credit.
gone.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
every dad out there. Yep. Okay.
And now you come back with only a single eyeball and these, yeah.
These birds are pooping on everything.
What? And this new spear? Come on now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't give him that hammer.
We spent a lot of time in this podcast, Steve, on Norse myth. So I'm sure people can go back into the hizzle and find those.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Most of that was on Loki, but Odin, you know what? I promised to do an Odin episode very soon.
And we need to get a Odin playable card other than just him being a prisoner. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Like a
Well,
villain
when
or
he's not a
hero.
prisoner, he's pretty legit. But as a dad, he's a little bit aloof and hard to measure up to if you're a Thor.
A little bit aloof. I feel like that's what he would say in couples counseling with Frigg. What? Everybody thinks I screwed up the kids because I've been a little bit aloof. What?
Yeah. But to be clear, in the myth, Hela is not his firstborn.
Yeah, just the MCU.
Hela is
Yeah.
Loki's firstborn.
I thought the horse was Loki's firstborn.
Well, Loki's firstborn as a dad, not Loki's firstborn as a mom.
As a mare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleipnir, the eight-legged horse, is Loki's first birth as a mom.
As a mom. Okay. So yeah. We
Hela
missed that
as
on
a
Mother's
dad.
Day.
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
It's-
Crazy.
I tell you, it
Happy
gets
Pride Month, everybody.
It's crazy up there, up north.
Perfect. Happy Pride Month. You're right.
My turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Save us from the Norse.
Let's get into our master of magnetism and deadbeat attitude, Magneto, mutant rights activist, awful father. Yeah, Eric's technically a villain at times, but let's be real, guys. Marvel has knighted him as this tragic anti-hero more times than Wolverine has brooded in a bar or grunted in a forest with Mike. As a father to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, sometimes Polaris, he's consistently awful. He's abandoned them. He's manipulated them. He's fought against them, sometimes straight up forgotten they exist. And some runs, he's done more than that with old Scarlet Witch. And he's more committed to mutant liberation than to ever attending a school play. And yet he still thinks he's trying.
Oh. Yeah. How many dance recitals do you think he's attended?
Magneto?
Yeah.
Probably none, Steve.
None. Yeah. It's too bad.
Probably none. And I bet Quicksilver could really cut a rug. Let's jump in. You know what? I'm going to take another one. I'm going to jump from Magneto into everybody's favorite android turned scrap metal, Vision. Fatherhood.exe has crashed. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Am I right? I'm right.
That's
awful.
good
He's
writing,
so
Josh. That's good
He's so
writing.
bad. I don't know who wrote that, but give them an Emmy. I don't even know if podcasts get Emmys, but we need an Emmy.
They get potties.
Potties with a D.
I'm sure there's some kind of award out there that no one's ever considered this podcast for.
Well, that's hurtful. That's hurtful. Ask people in Chile, Josh, if that's true.
We have fallen off
Vision.
down there. So yeah.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Vision once tried to create the perfect nuclear family in a suburban neighborhood by literally building one from scratch. Geppetto, he is not.
Mm.
All right. Wife, kids, picket fence, the whole thing was fabricated faster than a mid-season retcon. And unsurprisingly, as with all the other fathers on this list, things went full Twilight Zone. His synthezoid wife malfunctioned. His son died. His daughter barely made it out with a shred of sanity. And honestly, Vision, he tried to be a good dad, but when your bedtime stories are just Wikipedia entries on Kantian ethics and they sound like they're read by Microsoft Sam on mescaline, you're kind of asking for a robot rebellion.
Wow.
Okay.
That actually might be the best way to hear Kantian ethics. As a former philosophy and ethics teacher, I think that's the right voice for that. To be honest.
if one day a Roomba arose to thought and asked the question why instead of what, there we have Vision and his parenting tactic.
Wow. That's
Wow.
great.
Okay. All right. So these are some less than stellar Marvel dad hero that we have in our game. Okay. Yep. But we're all here for the main topic, right? I mean, for Mother's Day, we talked about Jean Grey, sort of. So it's only fair that we talk about her amore, Scott Summers, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's our this week's bad dad.
Yeah, he's our single dad of the year in hell.
All right.
Uh,
Steve, I cannot wait to tell you for you to tell me what a great father he is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's his turn. So strap in because Scott Summers.
Certain this one's going to turn out differently than the other ones.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. Yeah. Mutant team leader, eye laser extraordinaire, and emotionally constipated husband material is about to get pottied, I guess.
Wait, I thought we were talking about Scott Summers as dad of the year here.
Yeah.
Steve. What-
In hell. Maybe you didn't see that part. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So
I see it now. Yes.
So, Scott Summers, the man, the myth, the walking tactical spreadsheet. After Jean, Phoenix Force babysitter Gray, pieced out via death in X-Men number 47, Scott was left holding the baby, literally. And what do you do with baby Nathan? Did he step up, grow into the role, and become a nurturing father?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Oh, really?
No, he handed that baby off to a group of glowing space nuns and sent him into the future.
I had a dog.
Who are the glowing space nuns? I feel like I've met them.
Sons. Yes, the Ascani.
Oh, I thought it was like my neighborhood here in DC in Northeast. I live next to Catholic University. There are literally thousands of nuns in my neighborhood.
But are they glowing space nuns?
I feel like sometimes in the morning they are.
Daniel, you're thinking about like the Catholic blacklight raves that they've been known for.
Oh, that could be.
That's
it.
different.
That's why they're glowing. Okay.
Okay.
I
got it. But there are so many nuns around here. It's
okay. Enough of the nuns.
sorry.
And if you're a nun and you listen to Critical Encounters, tell us why you glow.
Yeah, I live in a creepy neighborhood. If you're into horror movies about nuns,
Nuns of them are Father of the Year. Okay, so Scott Summers. He takes one look at this love child of himself and his dead wife's clone, and he decides the best course of action was time travel, alien religion. That all seems very healthy. So later on, when Cable comes back from the future as a grizzled, gun-toting veteran with the emotional range of a rusty microwave, Scott tried to connect, with father-son bonding moments. Like, should we kill Apocalypse together? And is that techno-organic virus terminal or just incredibly upsetting? Like, those sorts of things.
So he's trying to reach out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's trying to reach out. Yeah.
My son once came home with HPV, so I kind of understand.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, can we play catch? No, let's kill Apocalypse. Okay. All right. And then there's Rachel Summers, his maybe daughter from a timeline that might not exist anymore. Possibly Jean's, possibly his, possibly just like a cosmic glitch in the soap opera that is a mutant continuity, right? Impossible to follow.
Fine. Well, how accountable can you be for that, Steve?
Well, I don't know. Either way, he reacts to her presence like most dads react to unexpected results on 23andMe. Mild panic followed by total emotional avoidance is what he does.
Wow.
That
was good, Steve. That was good.
That's a good line.
All right. So don't get me started on that one time he married the clone of his dead wife, had a baby with her, then left her immediately when the real Jean came back from the dead. What kind of side quest main character behavior is that? Sorry, Madeline. Turns out you were just the interim wife while my telepathic soulmate resurrected herself. Have fun becoming the Goblin Queen.
Now,
right?
Steve, in his defense, that's just merely being a bad husband.
Yeah, you can't fault a man when listen. Wives die. Okay, this happens. Okay, there's galactic forces at play, interdimensional creatures, ghosts, literal ghosts, man.
Okay,
ghosts.
Sure, she dies, and he gets with her clone, identical clone, and then when the original comes back to life, he leaves the clone for the original, like without even a debate.
Yeah, but wouldn't you, Steve? Wouldn't you?
I'd marry them both.
Oh well, You have to
Well,
move to
hold
a certain
on.
state.
They're the
to do
same
that.
person,
Yeah.
right?
I don't think the X Mansion's in Utah.
Oh,
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
isn't there a place called Utopia?
That's all.
Maybe
I know what he said.
Krakoa, you can do that kind of nonsense.
Okay, all right, fine.
You know
You're
what
right,
he
though.
said when he married both guys? He said, "Look, I'm taking care of both women. How big of me?"
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
Get it?
I
Get
got
it?
it.
He's a piece of trash.
He is.
But I gotta
All right.
defend him a little bit on that one.
The most Scott Summers parenting moment ever when he formed a paramilitary training camp for teenagers and called it a school. My guy,
Isn't
that
that
is
what
not.
the expansion is?
Yeah, after the professor's gone, right?
Okay.
This is not how you bond. This is how you end up on a government watch list. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, while Jean Grey may have been busy being reborn every other Wednesday, Scott spent his parenting years in a dazed fugue of time travel, questionable leadership choices, and desperately trying to hide the fact that he has no idea how to process an emotion without getting mind blasted by his own trauma. In summary, if Scott Summers ever offers to babysit, politely decline and get a psychic background check on yourself.
Ay.
Well, that's our Father of the Year in hell, Scott Summers.
I mean, getting rid of the I don't know, the real doll when the wife comes back is, I mean, you know what? People have needs, man. Not everybody can run off to a
But he
forest
also got
in
rid of
Canada.
his son, and he refused to acknowledge his possible daughter, and then he just like drops one for another one and drops that. Like, yeah, he's a very selfish person, I believe.
Look, if Josh had a nickel for every time he dismissed a possible daughter, he'd have what? What, Josh?
3 nickels?
Too many nickels.
Too many nickels.
So many nickels. My pockets overfloweth.
So it turns out,
Whew, happy Father's Day.
A sympathetic figure.
I hope my wife doesn't listen. I've been telling her those calls were from telemarketers, and that's why we've been screening them.
Wow. All right,
Oh, well,
Steve,
okay.
where can we go from here?
We go from here. We take a look at some of these
Josh from
cards.
himself.
Yeah, we got to look at some of these cards.
Is this a podcast about cards?
It is. And we're gonna look at some of them, and Daniel is gonna read us all about Scott Summers' alter ego and hero card.
I'm going to read Scott Summers first because we all start as our alter ego, Steve. Josh, would you agree? We're not heroes first. We're who we hide.
I'm never a hero.
Yeah. So Scott Summers is a, alter ego with the mutant trait, 3 recovery. You may include X-Men allies from any aspect in your deck. That sounds crazy awesome.
Cool.
Now,
everybody's
constant training, action. Search your deck for a tactic upgrade and add it to your hand. Limit once per round. You got a hand size of 6 and 10 hit points. Dude, that's bonkers.
Yeah, it's a lot of good options on the front of this card.
I mean, wow. I'll tell you, in the movies, he seems to be a dip
Language.
more than a.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't.
More than the strongest. Add any hero in the card, and I don't know.
They don't capture his full essence.
Right, like in the movies, he's just that cutie pie actor. I forget his name, who was in the other show.
James Marsden.
James Marsden. Yeah, thank you.
Cyclops. I thought he did a really good job.
He's great. So that's his alter ego, where he's got unlimited allies who are X-Men traded. I guess I should add. And then as a hero, he turns into a 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense, X-Men traded ally with 5 hand size and 10 hit points with the optic blast action, which is an attack where you spend a resource of any type to deal 3 damage to an enemy with an upgrade attached. Well, actually, that seems kind of weak.
Limit once per round.
It's so nice.
It's
good.
really super weak until you look at the rest of him.
I mean, up until this point, upgrades there weren't upgrades that attached to enemies except for Spider-Man's spider tracers out of the core. And then they went 5 years and they're like, ooh, let's do upgrades on minions.
No, there
and stuff
was.
again.
You had Death Glow.
I'm sorry.
You had Death Glow.
Thank you, Josh.
You had
I
Death.
forgot
Now, hold
Death
on. Now we got to mention Death Glow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was there.
Okay.
It's a
You had
thing.
no good
It exists.
upgrades that you could attach to anyone.
Hurtful, Steve. All right. So that's Cyclops. That's Scott and Cyclops.
Okay.
I love his hero kit, man. I love his alter ego build. I love Ally Swarm decks, and he can include everything, and it's so nice. Any aspect, as long as they have X-Men, and every time new X-Men comes out, new X-Men cards come out, he's just that much stronger.
True to who I am, I loved leadership until Scott Summers showed up and made it too strong.
Okay.
I hate decks that are too good.
Well, and we know Mike doesn't play with allies, so half of
Yeah,
Scott
no.
Summers' card is blank.
Yeah.
So yeah. But there are these tactic cards and these upgrades, so that's going to be something we should maybe talk about next.
Someone talk about those, please.
Can I? Can I
Yes,
talk about
go
Field
ahead.
Commander? I love Field Commander. All right, this is something that is unique to Cyclops. It's so great. Field Commander. It is a unique upgrade. It is an upgrade, one cost upgrade, unique. It is a title. It allows the Cyclops player to take the first turn during the player phase. Now, when your turn's done, play continues to proceed in the typical order that it would following the first player token around. But you get to take the first turn every time. And it makes all of his upgrades that are attached to a minion lose the keyword temporary, which we'll talk about when we go through the upgrades. It's phenomenal. I love it. It's so great. It works so well. It's just such a great piece of his kit. So well designed. Awesome. Lets him get all his stuff out.
It's very interesting letting him act first, but not be the first player, so that he can take full advantage of all the
tactics.
other tactic upgrades that he has. Yeah.
It's so good. I love it. No notes. Perfect card.
Perfect card. Okay. It's also very Cyclopsy selfish. I know I'm going first. First.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
he knows. Like that, you have to have a level of malignant narcissism to lead one of these teams of narcissists. You have to be the narcissist to lead a team of narcissists.
Yeah.
And if they're not a narcissist on these teams, they are like emotionally or mentally unavailable, black holes of sorrow and self-deprecation. It's one or the other. They're either too confident or woefully underconfident.
And then Jubilee. Then there's Jubilee.
Yeah. Jubilee's just.
Yeah. Then that's one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me read a couple of these upgrades that he has. Because this is going to be his whole kit, right? Exploit weakness is a one cost upgrade. It is tactic traded, so you can use his alter ego ability to go fetch it. Attached to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. Has the temporary keyword on there also. Increase the amount of damage attached enemy takes from each attack by 1. And there are 2 of these in his deck. Okay. So we're going to see a lot of these.
Pairs so well with Field Commander. Get that out there. Initially, everybody else gets to take their turns. You get so much value out of that one cost attachment. So great.
Yep. Everybody's doing extra damage. He can only put one of these out, so you can't stack multiples. And once you've got one of these on somebody, his hero ability can trigger. He can do that 3 extra damage, which becomes a 4 with exploit weakness, right? But he has a few other tactic upgrades.
Yeah, let's talk about those. You're gonna say them all, Steve?
Yeah, let me read.
Run through that suite.
Okay, practice defense, 0 cost upgrade. There's 2 of these. Tactic, attached to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. Temporary, we'll have to talk about. Attached enemy gets -1 attack. Okay. And then priority target, 0 cost upgrade, tactic trait, attached to an enemy, max 1. Temporary, interrupt. When attached enemy is defeated, the player who defeated it draws 2 cards.
Well, that's
again, two of them
good.
in the deck. So those are all of his tactic upgrades. So he has 6 of them in his deck.
Practice defense, I tend to use as fodder. I'll grab it in alter ego and use it as an extra, a 7th card in my hand to toss as a resource, or just throw down if I don't have access to any other upgrade to place on a minion or a villain to be able to trigger Optic Blast.
You can drop a villain's attack by 1. And it depends on who you're playing. Sometimes they only have a 1 or 2 attack, right? So it can be pretty impactful. And then that allows you to trigger his Optic Blast with other stuff. I find the hardest one to use sometimes is priority target. because you have to defeat the enemy, and maybe you have to put it on a. You're thinking of putting it on a minion because they're easier to defeat. If you put it on the villain, you're only going to defeat him twice, and the second time doesn't really matter if you draw 2 cards.
Yeah, that's something in minion heavy scenarios.
No, I feel like that goes on minions.
Yeah.
Temporary. What does temporary mean? Whoa, that's a new keyword.
Yeah, it's a brand new keyword that just came out.
Just came out.
Just
2
came
years
out
ago.
2 years ago. It's so good that this is such a poignant episode about a brand new character to the game. All right, so temporary means that at the start of the next player phase, it gets discarded.
Oh.
Temporarily lasts until the end of the villain phase.
Effectively, right. Yeah, so you can't put 2 priority targets, 2 practice defenses, 2 exploit weaknesses. You can't stack them all up on, well, you couldn't do 2 anyways, but you can't put them all out at once and then they don't, they don't stick around. They come out, they're good for a round, and then they're gone.
Right. You can't leave the exploit weakness on the villain the entire game and let him continually take 1 extra damage from everything.
Right.
Now
you can leave it on a minion if you get field commander out, right?
Yes.
So some of those bigger minions, it's helpful.
Yeah.
A Sentinel Mark 8 with 8 health, or the Sleeper, or
the Dragon.
A Thunderbolt minion, right? They have 18
yeah.
health. Yeah. So, yep.
It's really nice for those.
All right. Well, his kit's not done. He's got a couple of events. Daniel, he's got a couple of events.
You know, Steve, I actually don't want to talk about his event. Isn't he known most for his little sunglasses?
Oh, yeah. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So I actually want to talk about his Ruby Quartz Visor, which is an item. It's a $2 upgrade. It's a hero resource. Exhaust this card. Generate a lightning bolt resource for your Optic Blast ability. That attack gains piercing and ranged. Optic Black. What does that mean? What does that mean, Optic Blast?
That's
You read the hero card.
Oh, that. Is that the thing that only does like 3 damage?
Yeah, but now it's free.
It's ranged now it's ranged and piercing and doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. That doesn't seem that important.
I'm beginning to realize why you lose games.
I would never use that. I mean,
that big thing that's a key to his kit that really ties everything together. No, it's
it's so important to his. It's so important to his kit. His obligation steals it away.
Wait,
right?
How are you going to win by just taking your sunglasses off or whatever?
You can't see anymore.
It's no death glow. It's all right. It's no death glow.
Right.
It's no death glow.
That's right. You know what? This guy is no Valkyrie. You're absolutely right.
That is true. That is true.
This seems weak. So
garbage. Garbage hero. Why are we even wasting time?
Pro tip: no reason to put on these glasses.
Yeah.
I do want to point out it's an item. Jubilee can fish that out with shopping spree.
They sell them at the mall.
They do. They sell them at the mall.
Sell them at the mall.
And also his obligation. If you don't catch this, we'll pull it out. We'll tutor it out of your deck for you and put it on the table, and then you just clear the obligation and you get those into your hand. So his obligation isn't even that bad.
Well, does that mean he's a teenager in this game?
No. It does feel bad when you have put them out.
Yeah.
And then like the next round, the obligation shows up. You're like, I just put these out. So that can be frustrating.
It feels so good when you can't find them and it pulls them out. And when you clear it, it gets removed from the game. So it doesn't take them off of you again.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Josh seems to be fighting for the wrong team here, Steve.
I'm a Cyclops fan, but I can't help it. I got my C's, my Cyclops, my Cable, my Cap, and my Colossus. Those are my 4 C's.
Oof.
My boys.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah. All terrible human beings, so it's okay.
And we might not hear from Josh again after tonight. So
maybe.
Sorry.
But while he's here, let's have him tell us about those event cards.
Let's talk about those event cards. He's got a couple of them, 3 of them to be exact, a little bit more than a couple. He has Ricochet Beam, 2-cost event. It's an attack and it's a superpower. Deft Focus be damned.
Mm-hmm.
Hero action, attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy. And then, or not even then, period, deal 3 damage to an enemy with an upgrade attached. It's fantastic. It's great.
especially if you have exploit weakness on something or you're running aggression with all that stuff. It's so good. Anything that boosts. This is one of those cheaty hero cards that gets both instances of damage boosted by any card that boosts a single instance of damage or whatever that adds damage to an attack.
Right,
So
right.
nice.
And the second deal 3 damage to an enemy, like you can target the same guy twice,
You can.
right?
Yes,
you
you
can
can.
hit for 6, or 4.
Mhm.
I mean 8. If you've attached exploit weakness, yeah. And there's 2 of these, so
Mhm.
yep, pretty
So
solid.
nice.
And it's just an upgrade attached. So Iceman could hang out with
Mhm.
this guy.
Yeah,
It'd be lots of
Death
fun.
glow. Death glow could be
Death
attached
glow.
to something.
Death Glow count, Spider Tracers.
Spider tracers, death glow, all the big ones.
Yep.
All the ones that are so much better than Ruby Quartz Vest. All right. Then he has Tactical Brilliance. 2-cost event. Thwart traded. Hero action. It's a thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, and then you get to choose a tactic card in your discard pile and pull it into your hand. It's a tutor a tactics card. Now it has to be from the discard pile, so you have to have already used it. But
Not hard though. Yeah.
no, not at all. Especially if you've thrown him on the villain and he has that temporary affix on him. So nice.
And there's
But then
3 of these. There's 3 of these.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to not have a tactic. So,
Absolutely not. Because he's the field commander. He's always got a tactic up his sleeve, right? Which is what makes
Yep.
fighting him so annoying. You know?
yes.
It's a cheaty hero. But he has one big event. That's the big, and honestly, it's kind of cool to see go off, and that's Full Blast. He's got 1 copy of this in his deck. It's a 1-cost event. It's a superpower. Hero Interrupt. When you use your Optic Blast ability, trash, right, Daniel? Exhaust
trash.
Cyclops. This attack deals 8 additional damage and gains overkill.
What?
Yes. So nice. So if you pay for Optic Blast with Ruby Quartz Visor, pay for Full Blast with a Death Focus, you have essentially spent you've essentially spent 1 effective resource, the Full Blast card from your hand, and you have done 11 damage with piercing, ranged, and overkill
For $1?
for $1.
Yeah, this
For
hero's
$1.
a jump. No good.
Yeah. Luckily, it can't be cycled, right? It's not a tactic. So, like, once it hits the discard pile, it's gone.
I don't think we
Until-
don't have anything that tutors out superpowers, do we? We have
Does,
stuff that tutors out events.
does Rogue take things out of the discard pile or no?
No, but you know who does? His signature ally, Phoenix.
What?
Yeah. So that was my segue.
Well, play us into it, Steve.
3-cost unique ally, Phoenix, Jean Grey. 2 thwart with a damage, 2 attack with a damage, 3 health, psionic X-Men, and the response after Phoenix enters play, choose a Cyclops card in your discard pile and add it to your hand. We're in this
Oh.
together, Scott, till death do us part, which
Oh,
happens on
yes.
every other Wednesday. So you can use her to go back and get Full Blast and do it at the very next round, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
You can do it
And
twice
she
in the
is
same
like-
round. No, you
You
can't.
could,
If you
yes.
could ready him,
If you have
you'd
enough,
have to ready him.
you have to ready
No,
him.
you can't
Yeah.
Optic Blast twice. You can only Optic Blast once in one round. Can't do it twice in the same round.
Unless you play Tenacity out and ready him with that.
Now, Optic Blast is only once per turn.
Yeah, like
It does? Why is
Yeah,
Yeah.
limit
Oh,
once per
Optic
round.
Blast is okay. All
Yeah.
right, all right. But you can do it 2 rounds in a row with Phoenix.
yes.
I've only
So-
played 400 friggin' games of Cyclops. So it's
It
never
doesn't
come
happen
up.
all that much. Yeah.
I'm sorry you felt you had to do that.
What?
In prep. Yeah. So his kit's interesting. It's different. It was new when it came out,
Love
putting
you,
out
Josh.
upgrades. I'm just moving on through.
Just keep going. Just
I'm
keep
going. I'm just keep going.
We're goddamn professional. Just keep going.
So we should talk about a couple decks or spotlight a few decks. Now that we've seen the cards, we talked about the kit. Daniel doesn't like any of these cards apparently. Josh is
They're
in
terrible.
love with these cards.
These,
So
these cards are terrible.
well, somewhere
this
in the
hero
middle.
is the worst hero. There's no successful deck that can be made from this hero.
Well, there's no synergy amongst the cards, Daniel. That's the problem. They
That's
don't
the
work
problem.
together cohesively.
You know what?
I mean, I don't know.
He's like a worse Hawkeye.
Yeah, and then you look through the deck and there's all kinds of different colors of allies. They don't even work together. Like what?
Yep.
That's not even a cohesive deck. How does
Nope.
any of this stuff?
How can
work?
a green ally and a yellow ally be in the same deck next to
Josh
each
is
other?
right. Josh is right. This deck is a piece of
Language.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry. This is my fault. I bring this out.
It is Josh's fault.
It is yeah. I'm just
And
gonna put
and Josh has forced me into playing a role that I wasn't really prepared for, but I'll do it. I'm gonna
Language.
go all in.
I'm gonna put an
Jesus
explicit
Christ, I'm
label
sorry,
at the
Steve.
beginning of this episode
God,
and just
damn
let
it.
it fly. We're gonna get censored
Oh
on
my
everything.
Go
God.
all in.
No, Steve, what you need to do is make like the public version and then like the Patreon version.
The Patreon version. Yeah.
There you go.
Are you
Yeah.
18 or older?
Do you want to know what these
Language.
people were really saying the entire time?
Yeah, listen to the uncensored, unedited, raw audio.
But I
Those
do
hills-
apologize, Steve. I
Those
know that's
nerds
work
from the
for you.
hills. They're
Yeah.
bad influences on the villains.
Yeah,
On the villains. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're straight-laced villains here.
yeah. But Steve, I'm sorry for my part in this. I know. I apologize.
Okay.
All right, so
whip-
that's the kit. Let's look at a deck, right? Let's look
Yeah,
at a
let's
deck.
whip
That's
our
what we
decks
like
out.
to do.
Whip your
Josh,
deck
why
out.
don't
Put
you
it on
whip
the
your
table.
deck out first?
I'm gonna whip his deck out right here. Now it's not my deck; it's another man's deck. But
Well,
I'm proud. I like it.
Wow, it's just
Okay.
layers
All
and
right.
layers.
So I'm a terrible deck builder. I really am. I'm not good at deck building, and I am so grateful for Marvel CDB, for all of the people in the community who are so much better at deck building than I am. Just phenomenal, amazing, so inventive, so great. And I found a deck online in prep for this show. Leadership's my favorite aspect. Cyclops is one of my favorite heroes. I was super excited about this, and found this deck by I think gentleman. I just assume gentleman because it's a sweaty, nerdy pastime, and typically, people run women out of our spaces.
If you're playing the
But-
odds, it's a dude. Yep.
Yeah, but this person, man, woman, whatever have you, whatever they may identify as. Happy Pride Month, everybody. The name of Chaotic. I think I'm hoping I'm pronouncing their name right. Chaotic. CHAEOTIC. And this is a relatively recently published deck. So this is a leadership Cyclops. It's 50 cards. Chaotic has titled it Definitely the Good Guy. And I thought that
That's suspicious
that felt
already.
pertinent.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely the good guy, because that's how you know they're a good guy, Steve, when they tell you they're a good guy. Don't worry, I'm definitely the good guy.
I'm the
here.
good guy. Yeah.
And so this deck is really great. I played a couple games with it. I had a lot of fun with it. I genuinely have played a lot of Cyclops. He's one of the few heroes, the four I mentioned there are my favorites, that I've played quite a bit in all four aspects. And so I like to think I got a pretty good feel for Cyclops. And this is a really good deck. I mean, it's 50 cards, right? And he doesn't really like cycle his deck too much, but that's fine. 50 cards is fine, especially when he can fit all those minions in there. And so he has the rogue ally, the protection rogue ally from Nightcrawler, the one that lets you deal 1 damage to another friendly character, and it gets that character's traits till the end.
Okay.
You add that character's traits and their printed thwart and attack to rogue for that. And so the combo here is rogue, the rogue ally, the aggression Wolverine ally. That's 4 cost, has a 3 attack, but takes 2 consequential. But when your turn begins, he heals 2. And then the leadership event Teamwork, which lets you when your hero uses a basic thwart or attack, you can exhaust an ally you control and add their matching power to your hero's power for this use. So you get Rogue down, you throw on some Danger Room training, and you ping Wolverine with her ability. You have Rogue and Wolverine down. Ping Wolverine with her ability. Teamwork in with Scott Summers or with Cyclops, and you're swinging for massive amounts of damage. You're also running rapid response to quickly pull Rogue and Wolverine back. Once you get them in there, you're running some meditation to be able to pay for those hefty allies. You're running the new leadership tactic Squared Off. So lets you discard cards from the encounter deck until you discard a minion. You put that minion into play, and then you play an ally from your hand, reducing its cost by 3. So it's all kinds of stuff in here to kind of diminish those big allies' costs, get them out for cheap, and let them stay out. It's fantastic.
I like the Rogue Wolverine. Drop some upgrades on either one of them or both.
Mm-hmm.
She gets this huge buff by draining Wolverine's power, and then she feeds it into Cyclops for a couple, teamwork uses. He just keeps healing up, and then when you're out of teamwork, like the two of them she can still fight, and that's cool.
Now, I went through a couple different in a couple games. I was using teamwork with Rogue to let her have more staying power and not take the consequential damage. I was also like using teamwork with Wolverine until Rogue got low, and then teamworking with Rogue until she took a stray consequential or took a stray indirect damage or something, and was able to rapid response her back out. It was great. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a little heavy on cards, so getting that set up takes a minute sometimes if you brick, but there's a lot of stuff in there to help you pull those cards out. I really, really like it. A lot of fun with it.
Looks cool.
Well, Steve and Josh, let me tell you about my deck.
Okay.
Tell me about it. Tell me about that big old deck you got.
Okay. Go for it, Daniel.
What, you feel like you have a question, Steve, on your mind. What is it?
No, go ahead.
Are you wondering why I haven't posted anything?
Yeah,
Are you wondering why I haven't given you a link to my deck on Marvel CDB?
I did like days worth of prep for this show, like any good mother would, and I'm waiting for you to show up and contribute like a good father. So okay,
I get it, and I will be a good father, but I need to build my deck slowly over time. And I'm going to reveal my deck on Father's Day. So on Father's Day, if you go to Marvel CDB, there will be a big foam loaf deck. And I'm sure the powers that be there, after hearing this, Steve, will put me front and center on that page.
Okay. And I will also link Daniel's Father's Day deck to all of our social media. Yeah. So on Father's Day, you can find it.
So there might need to be secondary proof of what I've done.
Yes.
But proof of concept, Steve, you remember with Mother's Day, and I made what I thought was a thematically interesting deck. Maybe not strategically or tactically brilliant, but we have had a minion who has played that deck now multiple times and won with it. And that is Moss. Moss Timmons has done it. He has played my Jean Grey Mama deck to victory multiple times.
And he won. Good job.
Thank you. So we know that I can build a seriously competitive deck while also being thematic.
I know you can, Daniel.
So I'm doing it.
We have faith in you.
Yeah. So when you played with me live, I built a thematic deck, which was pull the deck out of the box that we played and just play it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was honestly, it was awe-inspiring watching the wheels turn. It was like, I would compare it to being able to watch Da Vinci paint.
Was it just a pre-con? Did he just play a pre-con?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
That's one way of saying it.
I mean, that's a troglodyte way of saying it.
Yeah. The other way of saying, like, you take some paints and you just make a Picasso, right?
All right.
That's do brilliant things with just the primary colors, Steve.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between brilliance and idiocy.
Steve, it's funny you say that.
That line is highlighted here often. So,
and when we opened that box and I took out the Maria Hill Precon, even an idiot could play that. Turns out.
Yeah, I guess you played it, right?
That's another show for another time.
Big ship go boom has some nuance too.
But yeah, all I know is Josh made a lot of interesting decisions in the deck, and I didn't have to with mine. All right, but gosh darn it, Josh, that was a fun time. And you know what, Josh? I finished your GIF just last night.
Well, good deal. I owe you another one then.
Well, please. So come back.
All right, time for my deck.
Sorry, Steve.
It's all right. Here we go. We're gonna do mine. My deck is called "Hey, Get Out There and Protect Me." because this is my Cyclops protection deck. It's Cyclops, okay. And two primary tactics for this deck, because Cyclops is such a terrible father. He's very selfish. He's that narcissist of all narcissists, like we talked about. So he's got two things on this deck, and there's a bunch of, some, not a lot, but some generic X-Men stuff in there. I wanted to take advantage of the protection card, Mutant Protectors. So if you don't know what this card is, it's a 1-cost protection event, defense. Play only if your identity has an X-Men trait. Hero interrupt defense. When an enemy attacks, put an X-Men ally into play from your hand, exhaust it, and declare it as the defender for this attack. So Cyclops isn't going to defend himself. He's going to play Mutant Protectors, and somebody's going to do it for him. And then I've got a suite of allies in here that all have an ability when they enter play. So you can spend 1 resource from Mutant Protectors and put out a bunch of different characters, whoever you happen to have. And you could probably rotate this around because he can have X-Men allies from any aspect, right? So there's a bunch of neat ones. Armor gets toughness. So Armor could defend once and then be around to do something the next round. Beast will go and fetch a resource card for you. M, after M enters play, defeat a minion with fewer remaining hit points than M. And M has 4 health. So M could come out and block the villain and then defeat a minion that might be attacking you. Mirage, after Mirage entered play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than Mirage's thwart, which is a 2. Stun that enemy. So that may or may not be able to come into effect. Nightcrawler, right? He comes out. You could spend a energy resource, prevent all the damage, and bounce them back to your hand so you have them in your hand again so you can do it again as much as you want. Phoenix has her ability to let you go fetch a card, like we said. And Polaris, after Polaris enters play, give an X-Men character a tough status card so she could defend and give Cyclops a tough for another time. And you could sub in like Professor X, who has all those abilities, or any other X-Men ally that has a when they enter play effect utilizing Mutant Protector. So I thought that was fun and very Scott Summers.
Love it.
Okay. So part 2 of Scott being a real dickhead is this new energy shield card. And I think this needs to be eroded immediately. Okay, Tony, if you're listening, this slipped through the cracks somehow.
He slipped out probably around the grunting in the forest.
Yeah, early on.
Still hanging out.
But if you
you're getting any
managed to make it
reveals
this
anymore.
far, you managed to make it this far. Okay, Energy Shield is a 0-cost upgrade. It's an item and a tech. And it says attached to a character, max 1 per character. Interrupt. When an attached character would take any amount of damage, spend X energy resources, prevent X of that damage. So you could put Energy Shield on one of your allies, player at the table. You could put it on Cyclops and you could prevent damage. Or you could be a jerk like Cyclops, put it on the villain because it says attached to a character, not a friendly character.
All right.
So you can put it on the villain. The villain now has an upgrade attached to him that does not have temporary, and Cyclops can optic blast the villain every single turn, never have to put another upgrade out. And Cyclops isn't going to pay the resources to prevent damage to the villain because he's not that kind of guy. So there you go. That's my second cheaty version for this.
You can also pay the resources to prevent damage to a villain that would have allowed your friend at the table to kill it so that you can then kill it on your turn.
Yes. So you can make the coup de grace. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I got a question.
Shield. Terrible. Yes.
Do we think that is the intended use?
Absolutely
Do we think they saw that? They thought about that when they made the card?
I think,
don't think so.
That's got to be friendly character is what that is, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm hoping. I mean, this can't be the intention of it, right? Is to let Cyclops go all off. Because this card came out in the Silk pack. It's brand new, right? It just came out in Silk. And Caleb did not design the Silk pack. If this had come out in a pack that Caleb designed, and we know Caleb loves Cyclops, then maybe it could be like a sneaky way for him to give Cyclops a lot of love. But I don't think that's the case. I think it was just a misprint.
Now that you set up that conspiracy theory, I think it's right.
Yeah, I mean, it could be it. It could be it. Caleb's like, hey, Cyclops he's so bad, none of his cards synergize together.
Yeah. He needs something.
He needs his own death glow.
That poor Cyclops,
Yeah. So that's the crux of this deck is have your children defend for you, and give a guy a shield that you have to charge up and be like, here, I'm going to give you this present, but not
That
include
is-
the batteries.
That is
So
the best Father's
yeah.
Day deck ever.
So, it's got some other cards in there that work as well, but
We got to play a Father's Day themed game as our last game of the con, Steve. We didn't mention that.
we did.
We did. You played my Cyclops aggression deck, and I played Cable Justice.
Oh yeah. It was
Sorry.
a Summer's family reunion. Yeah.
Yeah. Our last game
Wait.
of the con.
It's so like it has been a month now, but also much of it is a blur, and it was a blur. I'm glad I took videos and pictures and all that sort of stuff. And if anyone has not seen our video collage, check out our YouTube. There's like a 15-minute video, just pictures and audio, video and stuff like that from the con. So
I have yet to do a recap for our podcast of me going to Con of Heroes.
and you can do it next year at the end when
Yeah.
2 for 1.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Cyclops, Father's Day, all that fun stuff.
Woo!
Woo. What do we think?
This-
Is he good? Should the villains be worried?
He's garbage.
Yeah, I
you
think
heard,
so.
you heard from Daniel.
Yes.
He's
I
trash.
think the villains should be worried.
Yeah,
Worried they're
going
going to win too much. Worried they're going to get tired of kicking his ass.
Language.
Well,
Well, that'll never happen. I'll never be tired.
when I'm playing him, they don't have to worry.
They're going to lean on that crutch of his blasters. That's the
Yeah, that
useless card.
use.
It's a
I mean,
resource.
like, I just spend it for its one whatever.
Yeah, it's just, it's a dead card practically.
Yeah, I pitch full blast for what is it? Is it? Let me go and check our show notes. What is it?
You spend your full blast in order to.
Yeah. Oh,
You pitch
use it to
full
trigger
blast.
My
to get down like a tenacity or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to get down like an enhanced reflexes.
It helps me pay for my uppercut
Yeah, that's what we use
Yeah.
it for.
because I don't
hate
really
that.
understand how it makes any sense.
Sometimes he's not a good hero. Not good.
No, lame.
Yeah,
Pro
Gross.
tip: don't play this guy.
Yeah.
useless. Cards don't
Can't be-
synergize.
Can't beat a villain.
Bad.
So
Right.
No,
yeah,
really, really bad.
Well, all right. Josh, thanks for coming on this auspicious Father's Day show, for breaking Daniel along the way.
He does sound a little broken.
Yes, he is.
what does that even mean? What are you even saying?
I don't know.
I don't know. You have a certain malaise to you right now.
Point of business, our contest for the Shuri Black Panther pack is still going on. So check out that. That will be open for a little while longer. We're recording about a week ahead of schedule before you hear this. So, it'll be open for a little while to go out, do the contest, win a signed pack. Second point of business, Josh, where can the fine folks out in the listening land find you if they want to hear more of you?
Thank you. If big old if there, if you want more hillbilly shenanigans, come check us out over at my podcast, The Hills Have Nerds. We're a nerd culture and history podcast. We go into the history of all things from tabletop RPGs to toys to comic books to everything in between. History of Dark Souls, all that good stuff. Got 4 other great hillbillies in there, and we just like talking about the toys that we all love playing with, and we bring on different people from around the Appalachian area to talk about stuff they're creating in all these great environments we love to cavort in. You can find us on you can come on our Facebook, you can come inside our Discord, you can find us anywhere that you get podcasts. Just search The Hills Have Nerds, or on YouTube, all that good stuff. Come hang out and say howdy.
If folks out there, Daniel, want to communicate with us, they want to talk to us about their Cyclops experience, maybe their quality fathers, how are they going to do that?
God, I don't know, Steve. I mean, I guess they could email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. I mean, we are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. On Discord, we are Vardane, Winkster, Big Foam Loaf. And if you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, please tell your enemies. Hey, Cyclops, take us out.
Get off my lawn.
So hey, Steve, like when we were doing like the bad moms of the MCU, like there weren't very many, but then I asked you one at the end, like, are there any good dads?
There might be, but I don't really care about them. But I do have one more, like maybe Marvel's worst dad. You want one more? Should we do one more?
Wait. I was asking about the best dads.
I don't really know if there are any good dads in Marvel or not.
So wait, you're going at the back end of all this to tell me the worst dad?
Yeah, I'll give you one more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, right. I mean, we already talked about the bad fathers in the Marvel universe. You usual suspects, right? We already talked. They're all emotionally unavailable billionaires, or war-obsessed mutants, or Norse gaslighters. But then there's Mystique.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
the shape-shifting super spy. Yes, who's committed to confusion. She's managed to land on my list of worst moms and worst dads simultaneously.
Wow, that's a record.
Yeah, it's real range. So she's got the technically your father energy going on. Okay. Because we talked about this, right? Mystique's mutant power lets her become anyone, male, female, alien, your high school crush. And at this point, she's probably been all of them all at the same time. And in fact, depending on the content,
I can speak from experience.
In fact, depending on the continuity, thank you, X-Men Comics, for being confusing. Mystique has fathered a child. She has fathered a child. So Loki, not to be outdone. Okay. There is this timeline where Mystique impregnates Destiny, her longtime partner, using a shapeshifted male anatomy. And this results in the character Raze, a time-traveling murder machine with mommy and daddy issues. Not surprising. Okay. So, yeah, Mystique's not only your mom who never shows up or abandons you into the woods or, does all these other terrible things. She's also your dad who shapeshifted into someone else and then ghosted you immediately after conception. So try explaining that to a therapist.
Can't be done.
And her defense at every parent hearing has been, how can I be a bad dad if I wasn't me at the time? It's flawless logic, right?
Okay, fair.
Yeah. So she's managed to be a bad mom. She's been a bad dad. She's been a bad everything in between. Shape-shifting train wreck of parental neglect, who could be standing behind you right now disguised as your actual responsible parent. Yeah. So
that would explain a lot about my upbringing.
So the next time that you're mad at your dad for missing your birthday or showing up drunk to graduation.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, Steve, my father didn't remember most of the
language.
It
might not have been him.
It wasn't.
Yeah. It could have been Mystique, right? Yeah.
My father was a shape-shifting seductress. He didn't think I was a loser who burdened him and chained him down in the prime of his life. No, that wasn't Dad. There's no way that was. My father really loves me. I bet he's trapped somewhere. It was a mistake. It was a mistake the whole time.
It probably was.
Steve, this is amazing. Thank you.
I have liberated you.
Steve, I really can't believe we helped Josh through this.
I'm glad that we were able to help somebody here.
Miss baseball game, Mystique. My high school graduation when he showed up drunk and he punched my principal. Mystique, that was Mystique. Oh my God, my wedding, guys. When he came in, he drove right on the lawn and jumped out, spit at me, and told me I was the most. Oh my gosh, the worst thing that ever happened to me. That happened to me. So Vision.
Go on, Josh. Yeah.
Vision.
Keep interrupting him.
Vision.
Language.
Vision